Hello, AIM
Yes.
Squad.
AIM Squad, we're back. We're back.
Okay, we are back after what was a very interesting Thursday night football for week 4.
It's very interesting.
And
Good divisional game, though.
Good divisional game. And before we get on to, the rest of week 4 and Sunday night and Monday night football, let's kind of take a step back and see what exactly happened on Thursday night.
So there was a lot that happened. The Cowboys ended up winning.
Yeah.
For people that had the spread, they didn't cover the spread because of this kicker, or who's supposed to be a Hall of Fame kicker, missed from a 50-yarder. And it was not even close.
He completely botched it. Like, it wasn't even close. He didn't hit the uprights.
Yeah.
He completely went wide.
Like, super wide. Just
If he hit that, everyone's cover on Dallas game would have hit.
would have hit.
It would have hit because
hit.
for those who may or may not have watched, the game finished at 20-15 Dallas.
Yes.
And the spread that was out in the sports books was Dallas minus 5.5.
But there's also another thing. When he missed it, also helped us in another way, too, though. Maybe Daniel Jones may have not got the ball from him to able to throw a long shot.
That's true.
Maybe they would have got it shorter if he got the field goal after the kickoff and he didn't throw and they just ran out the clock.
That's also a good point.
So at the end of the day, we lose some, you win some.
Exactly.
We lost the spread, but we got our parlay, though.
We got our parlay.
Yeah.
More to come on that because that was
Yes.
our inaugural parlay.
Yes, it was.
But this is exactly why we like to do our TNF records separate than our Sunday night football records, because short weeks, long weeks for some teams, and just the shenanigans that comes playing primetime on Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursday football is just weird football.
It is. It is.
It's a hit or miss. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Some teams play the best. Some teams play the worst. Things are not supposed to happen. Things are supposed to happen. Don't happen. And it's mind-boggling.
It is.
But,
it is.
But that's why we keep it separate. Thursday for
Exactly.
Thursday.
And obviously, as we saw, Dallas coming back after that game where CD and Dak had that little, spat there.
Altercation, brotherly love there.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it has to get out, but hey, you saw them. They had that connection back again. I'm glad they got the touchdown and glad they got the win.
Yeah.
Just wish they covered.
yeah, it's okay, though.
It happens.
Which leads us to our records for Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
As my brother and I both had Dallas minus 5.5, and we said they didn't cover because of a botched field goal.
Ugh.
My record is 2-2. And
I'm
another
still-
reason why we keep record Thursday separate, because
Yeah.
Earshot and Thursdays don't go well together.
This year for Thursdays has been tough for me. I'm still looking at a big fat goose egg. I'm gonna own up to it. I'm 0-4. These Thursday night footballs definitely, thank God, they're separate.
Yeah.
But switching gears here, one thing we saw on the positive before we kind of get into our parlay is our fantasy lineup.
Yeah.
So for those who play the daily fantasy lineup for Thursday night football alone, how we like to do it here at AIM Sports for new and existing listeners is we pick the best position of that matchup.
Yes.
So we pick just one QB, one RB all the way through, and pick the best one that we think is going to get you the most picks and beat the other individual on that team of that same position.
For sure.
So in this example, we picked Dak Prescott as the better quarterback over Jones, and he did.
He did.
We got 16.74 points instead of what would have been the 9.5 points.
Correct.
So AIM Sports got you covered on the QB. Oh no, who do we have on running back, man?
Running back, we took the Giants. The only Giant player we took on our fantasy.
Yeah.
Show him some love, but that didn't work out well for us. As Singletary had 4.8 points. Instead of Dallas running back Dowd, who scored the first touchdown for the game, ended up getting 13.1. But if you look at the difference from there, it still kind of balances out on our team. Because we did really well after that position.
Yeah, we did.
We did really well. Wide receiver, we had our boy CD Lamb.
Yeah, and we picked the best position because CD was a top wide receiver with 23.6. And Neighbors was close.
Oh, he was really close, yeah.
He was 23.1, but here at AIM Sports, we don't want to come second. We want to come first.
Yes.
So we got you the best wide receiver for that night, ladies and gentlemen. So CD Lamb, followed by our tight end.
Yeah, Ferguson, another passing tight end. Loves to catch the ball from Dak Prescott. 11.9 points.
There we go.
Instead of the Giants tight end. I don't even think they even threw to a tight end on. Like, maybe they did. It was like a little screen or something.
Yeah, like a scramble or something.
Something. 1.9 from a tight end from the Giants. So, yeah, Ferguson was for 100% the better option there.
Through and through.
Yeah.
And then we got our defense. We picked the Cowboys winning, which meant the Cowboys defense had to show up to win. And they did. I mean, both an underwhelming game altogether, but Cowboys was the better defense of the two with 4 points instead of the Giants' 3.
Yeah. And then which leads us to the kicker.
Jeez.
Aubrey, who had 10 points.
Yeah.
But you looked on the other side, you had Joseph from the Giants.
That was a surprise, though.
That was really of a surprise.
That was a surprise.
But now you look at it, in today's NFL, a lot of teams go for it on fourth down. You
Yeah.
don't see a lot of field goals.
No.
But the Giants played really conservative, kept the matchup close
Yeah.
on a divisional game. Yes, they didn't cover. Yes, they covered the spread, but Dallas didn't because they botched the field goal. But it helped us with Daniel Jones throwing a pick. But it's okay. We got the best out of it. And that was our fantasy lineup for Thursday.
That's it. I mean, we out of the 6 positions that we
Yeah.
could have picked, your boys here at AIM Sports got you 4 out of the 6 positions as the highest position selected for that game's lineup. There.
Yeah. Our goal is here to try to get 6 out of 6.
6 out of 6. That's the aim here at AIM Sports.
Yeah.
But we're at 4. It's okay. We try to switch it up here. And now you might have heard it already in this parlay, in this podcast. But let's get into our first inaugural AIM Sports parlay, and let's see how that turned up. So, Ulner, walk them through, man. How did we do for our first inaugural one, brother?
Our first inaugural parlay was amazing. I hope people tailed us. This was
so.
amazing. And we got the W.
We did.
What did we have here? We had CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown score.
Yep.
Check mark. We had Dak Prescott to throw 2 touchdowns. Check mark. And that botched field goal helped Daniel Jones throw that interception for us to complete our parlay and get that first W here at AIM Betting.
That was huge. 1-0 as it stands here. For those who tailed this exact same parlay, you guys all ate with us.
Yes.
Depending on your sports book, you would have almost quadrupled your units.
Yes.
So we hope you guys got to tail and eat with us here.
Yes.
Because we did.
Yeah, we ate nice Thursday night. We ate nice Thursday night.
So that was nice. And of course, that leads us directly into our trending bet.
Yes.
Which was part of our parlay leg. In this case, was CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown. After the spat that they had, they're going to come back strong and hard.
Of course.
And it hit.
It hit.
So, CD kind of picked up that nice touchdown from that connection from Dak. And that leads us for our trending bet all-time records is 4-3. So we're officially above 500. So hopefully you guys tail that one too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So after Thursday Night Football, there's always the best day of the week.
Yes.
Sunday football. That's what everyone's ready for, waiting for it. Popcorn ready, everything brewed, everything ready.
Let's
your
get
favorite
it.
drink, your favorite food. But let's get into it. Before we get into our game of the weeks, we're going to start off with our records because we say our records are separate.
Of course.
Myself on Sundays and Monday are 4-5.
I'm currently 2-7.
It's all right though. We're going to get there. But we got 3 exciting games of the week this week though.
Very,
very exciting games of the week. And surprisingly, 2 of them are divisional games. And one should be a divisional game, but may feel like a playoff game, too.
Yep.
And that's on a primetime game, too. So, to begin our games of the week, I'm going to let my brother let you know what's our first game.
So, kicking off our first official game of the week for week 4 here at AIM Sports, we have a divisional matchup happening in the first window of games. That is going to be between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
Cheeseheads.
Alrighty. So Vegas currently has the lines at Green Bay -3. So, before we get into it, there's a lot of interesting things we have to talk about. There's everything from the players, from the return of certain players, to the referees, to statistics. Lots to talk about, lots to do it. Ulner, my brother, let me throw it to you first. What's your call for this divisional matchup and why?
Okay.
Let me hear you.
Let's get started. We all know Jordan Love is coming back. Jordan Love is poised, hungry, and what better game for him to come back than a divisional game against the Minnesota Vikings? Listen, Green Bay's going to be cold. Cheeseheads, they're just there. I'll give you my pick right now. I like Green Bay -3.
Okay.
I think Green Bay comes out. Jordan Love finds his groove really quickly, and he's poised to, march Green Bay down the field and score some points. It may end up in a field goal game, but -3 Green Bay, it sounds beautiful to me. I love it. Sam Darnold is 3-0 as a quarterback. I think Green Bay's defense will help him out, and they'll shut Darnold down. And I'll throw you an interesting fact there, Shut.
Yeah.
Since 2003,
Yeah.
as a home favorite, Green Bay against the spread is 86, 62, and 4.
Ooh.
They cover 58.1% of the time. Now, according to whoever's reffing this game, who we have, Bill Vonovich?
Bill Vonovich.
Bill Vonovich is reffing. Bill Vonovich, when he refs since 2018, is 42 and 54 and 4 against the spread for the true home teams. Now, according to my pick, that doesn't match. But when you look at it, the other side of them covering the spread at 58% of the times, I like Green Bay -3. Give me Jordan Love. Give me the Cheeseheads.
Jeez, okay. That's a strong call. So you're rolling with Vegas on this one.
Yes, I am. Yes, division
Vegas.
game. They need. Minnesota gotta lose a game.
Yeah, you know what? I think they're gonna lose the game at some point in the season, but it ain't gonna be this one. I'm rolling with Minnesota +3. You heard it here, and there's a couple of reasons why. Alden already touched on one of the key important players in every football game, and that is the referees.
Yep.
So Bill Vinovich is true home teams 42, 54, and 4, like we said, against the spread, and quite literally, since in 2023, so last season, he was 5, 10, and 2. Home teams were 5, 10, and 2 against the spread. So he's almost twice as likely to, favor the road teams than he is the home teams. But that doesn't stop there. All right, there's a couple of things from Jordan Love potentially coming back. So I know they officially have not changed his designation yet.
Yep.
So they're keeping under wraps for sure. I'd keep Minnesota on their tails as well. But I don't think Jordan Love is going to be coming back swinging as necessarily as I think people are anticipating him to. Though he may for sure, I think 1 or 2 big pressures or sacks may actually freeze him in his tracks. And I think he's going to freeze up and not, kind of be in his head for the rest of the game, which coming as, a rookie quarterback, or not a rookie quarterback, a younger quarterback, will take some time to flex that muscle to come back from injury and still continue to play. But what's interesting here is when it comes to their defense, the Vikings rushing defense is tied second in the entire league in the rushing game. So they're going to shut that down. Passing, sure, both teams are on the lower end of things, right? A little mediocre. But what is surprising in and of itself is the offense for Green Bay is their number 1 in rushing. Going head-to-head, like I said, against a second-ranked rushing defense in the Vikings. And I think that the Vikings are going to shut that down very quickly. On top of the fact that we're seeing Justin Jefferson pull 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. I want you guys to hear that again.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. He's Justin Jefferson. He's JJ, right? So, and I think Sam Darnold's doing a hell of a good job in leveraging the fact that he has a weapon on his wide receiver core, and I think he's going to continue to pull on that thread a little further, right? I think they're obviously, when it comes, you look at historically, Packers Vikings 4-4 against the spread since 2020, 8-8 against the spread since 2016, and 11-11 since 2013. So statistically, they are almost damn near identical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to against the spread, right? But the Vikings defense has been a little bit tougher and stingier while the new coordinator is there. The head coach, Brian Flores, is there, right? So I think, they're first in QB pressures, which, like I said, Jordan Love coming back, he's going to be pressured.
For sure.
Can he get that mental thing about his MCL out of his head? I don't know. They're first in sacks. They're allowing 2 pass touchdowns, but they're 5 picks. I think their defense is going to shut Love down. And I think whether it's Love, whether it's Malik Willis, whoever it is, it's going to be a quick shutdown by the Vikings. The Vikings are going to take over, and they're going to dominate that at the helm and the help of JJ and Sam Darnold.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I'm calling Minnesota +3, and of course, like I said, you can't forget Mr. Third Player himself, Mr. Bill Vinovich.
Listen, we'll talk about that next week. All right, give me Cheeseheads all day. Cheeseheads.
Let's go Vikings.
All right, so you have it right here. My brother got +3 Minnesota. I got myself -3 Green Bay. We're going to watch this game together, have a nice head-to-head showdown. We're going to trash talk a little each other tomorrow, too, while watching this game.
Of course.
So this is going to be fun. But now which leads us to our second game of the week, which is part of the second window.
Yes.
So you got to watch the first one, get excited. Now time to watch the second window. And this also is a divisional game. A big, big divisional game. We have ourselves here the Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers.
Big game.
Big game. So
and this is a not only a divisional matchup, like you said, but it's a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right? It's the first ranked versus the second ranked.
Yes, exactly. So it's not even like, I like
1 and 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But Patty Mahomes, like, playing the Chargers. You have Harbaugh playing the Patty Mahomes for the first time as a head coach.
Yep.
So that's going to be really, really exciting. The spread here is -7 Kansas City. We've learned here not to bet against Patty Mahomes. Right?
Yep.
We don't bet against Patty Mahomes.
Definitely not.
We don't. I'll get it started here first. We'll keep it going. I'll start it. This game is going to be about defense, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of defensive schemes, a lot of defensive pressure. This one's going to be exciting. Herbert, yes, he's injured. You know, they're a young team. They're still there. But Harbaugh always has something up his sleeve. Even when he played at San Francisco, too, he had coaching there. He always has something up his sleeve. Even in Michigan when he was coaching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
He always came up with different plays, different schemes to top high-rated players. And Patty Mahomes is up. He's arguably one of the best players in the NFL today.
Yeah.
But when you look at stats gives you a big hint on who to pick to this game. Patty Mahomes owns the Chargers. He's 8-2 against them. Outright, 8-2. But the spread is not friendly with him.
No.
He's 4-5-1. He has that one push against the spread.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I think the Chargers will get the cover here. 7 is a lot of points, especially for a division game.
Yeah.
And they're at home. If they were on the road and Kansas City was favored by 7 at home, for sure. But you're telling me the road division team who's higher 1-2 is favored by more than a touchdown? I'll take it the Chargers, taking the points at home, hardball, different schemes, Chargers +7.
I like that. I mean, you know, I think you made some good points there. You know, first of all, obviously, Mahomes betting against him. That we've learned. But you know, it's interesting because we talked about Patty Mahomes being 8-2 straight up, 4-5-1 against the spread in his career against the Chargers, but more specifically against Justin Herbert himself. Though he's 5-1 straight up, he's only 2-4 against the spread versus Herbert.
Yeah.
Now, the new report came in is Herbert is expected to play.
Yes.
So, basing it off statistics and historically alone, I mean, do I think Chiefs are going to win? Yeah. I truly do think they're going to win, or they have a very good chance of winning. I just don't think they're going to cover either.
Yeah.
Right? I think, you know, yes, you have historically a concern of, you know, Herbert, but I also do agree where it comes to the defense. I think the Chargers defense across the board is probably one of the more, as a whole, against the yardage, passing, rushing points, and third down conversions, is actually one of the more well-rounded ones in the entire league.
Yeah, they are.
I think Patty Mahomes is going to be held to a check a little bit. Now, you know what I mean? Like, I think like he'll be held. I think being Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid and the way Rashee Rice is playing, and of course you have, you know, Mr. Swift himself, right? They're all playing there. I think you're eventually going to have them score a few points for sure and break out and maybe, you know, create some flea flicker like moments, but it's not going to be as easy as them walking to arena demolishing teams as they typically do. This is going to be a locked down defense that Chargers are going to put forward.
They are. They're going to scheme him. Harbaugh's going to throw some schemes at Patty Mahomes.
Of course.
Make him throw the football. They're going to double Kelsey.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, they're going to have him covered there too. He's going to have to use his other weapons. And Juju Smith.
I agree.
Right? He's going to have to throw to him as well. And, Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Speedy guy. But the Chargers are built for that kind of because they have that offense too.
They do.
They have the run and gun offense like Patty Mahomes. Yes, they don't have a Patty Mahomes-like player.
Yeah.
But I think Harbaugh can use his offense as a prime example on how to stop them.
Well, they have J.K. Dobbins, so that pulled up from the Ravens.
They got
right?
Gus Edwards as well, too. They got two good running backs coming out there.
Yeah.
It's not like you have Eckler before, who had his fumble issues. These guys do as well, too.
Yep.
But they're showing life this year with a new head coach.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be a really good game.
It is.
And you also got to take it, too. The Chargers are going on a bye week next week.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
why
true.
not give it all out for a division game?
Exactly. And this is going to be important because, I mean, there's a good chance everybody in the NFL knows that the Chiefs are going to make it to the playoffs for sure. So really, they're vying. I mean, the Chargers are vying for either second place or a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Right? So they have to, like you said, bust their tail before their bye week because they have a full week to rest up.
Exactly.
To ensure they give what they potentially can to at least, scare some sense into the Chiefs.
Say,
and maybe,
we're in the
that we're
division
here.
too.
That we're here.
We're knocking on the door.
That we're here. We're not just going away.
Yeah.
And potentially sneak off with a win.
Yeah.
So my brother, I'm rolling with you, and I'm agreeing here with the Chargers to do +7. Once again, I'll reiterate. Do I think Chiefs will win? Yes, most likely I think they'll win. Do I think they're going to cover? No, I don't think they're going to cover.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers are going to hold it down and then be like, hey, listen, you're coming to our house.
Yeah.
We're going to hold you down.
Yeah, we have. And you also look at Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Even his resume speaks for himself. Even back in San Francisco, he had 2 quarterbacks with him. 2 quarterbacks that he coached, Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
Both of them had a positive percentage of winning games straight up. Alex Smith was 26-1, with Kaepernick 29-16.
Yeah.
So that means he came on and won games.
Yeah.
And now he has a Justin Herbert who is supposed to be the face of the franchise. Young quarterback out here who shows a lot of good potential.
He does.
He knows how to throw the football.
He does.
But now he's going against his arch nemesis, Patty Mahomes. I think they're going to come on and cover this spread.
I think so.
I like it.
I think so. I don't think Mahomes is going to have an as easy as a start that he's had in the last 3 games, because I know they're still undefeated.
Yeah.
Right? But, like you said, Herbert's still, a gunslinger. He still has an arm.
Yeah.
He can still throw, and it shows. They're 2-1.
Yeah, they are.
2-1. So you heard it here.
There you go.
+7.
+7.
LA Chargers.
Yep.
And without further ado, we're going to move on to the last game of the week, which is also going to be in the primetime window for Sunday night. And not only is it a primetime time slot, but it is a marquee matchup between 2 Super Bowl contenders in the same conference but cross-division matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh.
And Vegas has currently Baltimore favored at -2.5. So, Ulner, big 2 games, big 2 teams.
Yeah.
We've seen how they play. We've seen, the Buffalo Bills 3-0. We've seen the quote-unquote injustice that the Baltimore has faced when they've lost their 2 games, whether it's by a shoe size or otherwise.
Yeah.
So let me throw it to you first. What's your call? Why? Let them know.
This is going to be a fun game. We have Mr. Third Player, or third contestant of this game, Trey Black. Is it Trey Black ref in this game today? Or tomorrow on Sunday primetime? I believe so it is.
Yeah.
I believe so he is. Let me give you a quick stat.
Oh, apologies. Alan Eck.
Alan Eck?
Alan Eck.
Alan Eck is reffing?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that might change a couple of things.
So this is
Alan Eck.
Alan Eck. He is 13-3. Home teams are 13-3 on the money line.
Ooh.
And 11-5 against the spread in 2023. And last year was Alan Eck's first season as a head referee.
Oh, all right. Let me give you something with that. Speaking on referees, I'll give you a stat that's going to be like, whoa. Baltimore leads the league in offensive penalties and holding.
Oh, damn.
All right? So let me give you that. Now, refereeing this game, our friend over here, Alan Eck. Sorry, I apologize. When he refs the game, he calls the least amount of offensive penalties. So does that mean Baltimore is going to be allowed to hold the line, give Lamar Jackson time without getting called? He's been calling the least amount of penalties. No officiating crew has called fewer combined offensive holding and false start penalties than Alan Eck's crew. And Baltimore leads the NFL in offensive holding.
So you think it's going to work to his advantage?
I think he's going to work to his advantage.
Which actually makes sense because last year was his first season as his head referee. And this year, the NFL came up with new rules when it comes to formation.
Yeah.
Which explains why the illegal formations aren't happening. Like, you have to be a seasoned veteran to understand what the differences are.
And now you back the stats up saying he's 13-3 on the money line home teams and 11-5 against the spread since he started his first season. This all pushes towards Baltimore.
Yeah.
This pushes to Baltimore. Baltimore's 1-2. Buffalo's 3-0. I don't see Baltimore going down to 1-3.
No.
Like, if they go down that path with Pittsburgh already undefeated as well too.
Yeah.
That division is out the run. Like, they're not able to do anything.
They won't come back.
I think this is going to be a really good game for Lamar Jackson. It's going to show him. And they've played already a couple of primetime games already. They had the Thursday one. Derrick Henry is amazing. He's just a beast in there.
Yeah.
just by itself, I don't know, Baltimore is coming to come out and win this game.
I mean,
I just feel it in myself. I feel it that Lamar Jackson is here to prove himself. Him showing himself that he is like the king of football.
yeah.
You know, he wants to compete with Patty Mahomes, be up there. This is his time to win the Super Bowl. You added Derrick Henry this year. Your team cannot go 1-4.
No, you can't. You can't. Especially not in the division, because I think you brought up a good point. Right now, Pittsburgh, yes, 3-0. Ravens are 1-2.
Yeah.
And the Browns, and Bengals are 0-3, sure, but the Browns are currently 1-2 right now.
Mhm.
And they're playing the Raiders.
Exactly.
If the Browns win against the Raiders, which is pretty likely,
Yeah.
right? And the Ravens lose, Ravens, to your point, are officially in third place,
Yeah.
right? There may not be a chance for them to
Yeah.
come back.
But it's just, exactly, if there's no chance to come back, then you have to win this
You
game.
have to win.
And 3 points is a field goal game, 1-possession game.
Yes.
Buffalo is a really good team that always keeps it close. They're always in there, you know, peskiness, try biting you, you know, poking at you at teams, you know, aggravating teams. And don't get it twisted. We saw Baltimore coasted after that big lead when they had against Dallas.
Yeah.
The spread was what, -1, 1.5. They were leading by almost 20 points,
Yeah.
25, and then end up winning by only 3. And you cannot be making those mistakes against a Buffalo team.
Oh,
like
no.
this.
No. And they'll punish you for it.
They will punish you for it.
Yeah.
But I think Baltimore needs this win. Baltimore looks amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just to me. How do you feel about this?
You know, I think just because of Buffalo's caliber, I know you and I have kind of gone back and forth
Yeah.
on this. You know, after reading Alan Eck's kind of, analysis
Yeah.
in his home team, how new of a referee is, his lack of calls, especially this year, which can come from his inexperience of being a referee altogether. I do also agree
Okay.
that Baltimore is going to cover -2.5 tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Right?
All right.
I mean, it's going to be neck and neck. I wouldn't even be surprised if Buffalo actually gets to start.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to discount Lamar Jackson out
Yes.
until the very end. I think him and Zay Flowers are needing for a connection that they maybe didn't have last game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They need a little bit more power. Derrick Henry needs to
Exactly.
establish the run game fairly early on.
Yeah.
Right? And some interesting things. I mean, this is a primetime game. Let's not forget that, right? Primetime game always means the entire, not only do you have the 60,000 in attendance watching, you have the entire nation looking at it, right? Both, I mean, we're speaking from Canada. But, you have
Exactly.
all of America
Is
watching
watching.
it,
Yeah.
and every NFL fan up here in Canada is also watching this one game. So you arguably have more eyes, more pressure, more lights there. And there's some statistics that are interesting here we want to share with you guys. So during when these quarterbacks go head to head at prime time at night, Lamar Jackson is 16-7 straight up and 14-9 against the spread. And of the 16-7, 8-2 is at night in home games. And he's 6-1 straight up on Sunday night football.
Wow.
He's won 5 straight Sunday night primetime football games.
He loves the spotlight.
He loves the spotlight. He's there for showtime.
He's there for showtime.
Yeah. Like, he loves the rush. He loves when the ball is in his hand. He wants to throw it. He wants to rush it. He wants to take it in. He wants to do everything himself.
Yeah.
And he needs to show why he's that caliber.
Yes.
Right? I think he was a little conservative last game, for sure. But he needs to show that. If he wants that win, that extra one in that win column, he has to be aggressive. On the flip side, Josh Allen here is 19-10 straight up. Sure, decent record, but 14-15 against the spread. Okay? So he's 9-6 straight up at night in road games and 6-4 straight up on Sunday night football. So historically, yes, there is some history that actually works to Josh's favor, no doubt. Yes. But more of it actually goes on Lamar's side.
Yes,
right.
100%.
He's undefeated in the last 5 straight. Right, he's more against the spread, and Josh is less against the spread.
Yeah, he is.
Right, and one thing that you mentioned, owners, and as we see with Vegas here is -2.5. This could actually come down to a field goal game
for sure.
Right, like this could be a kick, and we have one of the elite kickers, of course,
clutch kickers
on both teams, right?
Yeah.
But Justin Tucker is, he's one of those for an interesting matchup because though his kicking is 1 for 7 his last 7 50-yard field goal attempts, it's all the more reason where Lamar Jackson and company have to come out quickly to offset that issue. Like you don't want to rely on that if push comes to shove and put that level of pressure on Tucker, because the last thing you want is to go 1-8 and end it, because you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
Right? And personally, if you want to go in overtime, I hate the fact that it has to come down to a coin toss.
Yes.
Oh, I hate it. But the last thing you want to do is make it go to a coin toss. So I think Lamar Jackson and company are coming out hungry. They're coming out swinging. And I think, you have Zay Flowers going to be stepping up. Derrick Henry's going to be stepping up. I think the entire defense is going to be coming in. They're going to be a little bit hungrier this time around.
Oh, yeah, they will be.
For sure. And all to say is, in terms of the total yardage in the offense, Baltimore's leading at number 1.
Yes.
Let's point that out of the way, right? Through and through. They're number 2 in rushing, so Derrick Henry has to reinvigorate that rushing.
Yes.
They're 10th in passing, okay, which means that he just has to sling it down a little bit more. The defense can actually, the defense, number 1 defense in rushing is the Ravens. So they can actually shut down James Cook and take away the rush game altogether.
Yep.
You take away the rush game that forces Josh Allen to throw, and then you have the deep secondaries literally hawking for these INTs.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's what they're going to do.
And that's what they're going to do. And at home, I think they're going to have the benefit.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to ride with Vegas. I'm going to ride with you, my man.
Yeah.
-2.5, Baltimore.
Yeah, and also another thing too, right? Josh Allen only played Thursday.
Yeah.
Sometimes when your body's not used to playing consistently, an extra day off could also throw you off the game too.
That's true.
Right? So at the end of the day, like him coming back like that, it's a tough one there for him.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't play really well when he comes out of rest. An extra rest during the season in his career, Josh Allen's 9-13-1 against the spread.
Ooh.
Including 2-5 against the spread when the game is on the road.
Which it is this time, yeah.
Which it is. So a lot of extra rest, he may not be comfortable, or the mold might be a little too soft or a little too stiff because he hasn't played.
It throws the dynamic off.
Yeah, it does, right? So also favors Baltimore.
Yep.
Plus the offensive holding penalties. So there, referee Mr. Alan Eck over here, our buddy, going to be our good friend on Sunday night.
Yep.
And he's going to come and show why Baltimore is a Super Bowl team, with or without the refs' help.
I like it.
We like Lamar Jackson here.
That's it. Lamar Jackson's going to hold it down for the entire squad, irrespective of the referees.
Yes.
Come on, LJ, you got it. So Baltimore, -2.5.
Let's go.
So you heard it here. We're trying to improve our records. But, stay tuned for our next episode to see how this turns out. But that's only one part of the AIM Sports Betting segment. We now got our trending bets, parlays, and fantasies.
Yes.
So let's get it started.
Tell them.
Let's start off with the 3-leg parlay.
No, I think you go trending bet
first.
first.
Trending bet first?
Trending bet first.
Okay.
I like trending. Go trending bet first.
I try to tell you guys a little early. Only holding it down.
Jeez.
Okay.
Nice tease there.
All right. I'm too excited from our 1-0 win, I'm too excited. So, let's do our trending bet. Something that we've been doing since the beginning of our season this year. So, our trending bet for this week is an anytime TD.
Yes.
And we have A-Chain.
Yes, Monday night game.
Monday night game.
First game, 7:30 Eastern time.
Yep.
You got Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins.
And we have the starting running back, because Ray Mostert's still out.
Yes.
We have Devon A-Chain scoring an anytime TD in the entire game.
Yep.
Depending on the sports book that you're using, it could be anywhere between 2.3 to 1.98 or whatever the case is. Everyone's sports book is different. But we have Devon A-Chain scoring anytime TD for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a quick 30-second reason as to why. I mean, obviously we have a new quarterback coming at the helm with Tyler Huntley.
Yep.
So he's learning a brand new offense. He's going to rely on his running back to help him out.
Yes.
Obviously, last game, they're recovering from, losing Tua.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's kind of learning the new offensive scheme. Yeah. You can't show your hand too much. You can't keep throwing to Tyreek. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can't even throw to Tyreek. And you can't keep running the ball all day. Now you actually have a bit of a thrower with Huntley. It's going to spread the offense a little bit more. Yeah. I think A-Chain is going to be able to do ground and pound all the way. Maybe spread the pitch a little bit. So now if you get Tyreek Hill going down, you kind of get 20, 30 yards at a time. And I think once you're at first and goal, second and goal, I think A-Chain is going to be the ball carrier for security to cross it over.
Oh no, for sure.
So I'm taking, and I think we're taking here A-Chain anytime. But Ulner, why do you think he's going to get that anytime, man?
Straight simple. You mentioned a lot of things, right? New quarterback.
Yeah.
Huntley's coming in. Yes, he also played with Baltimore. He knows the offense, and Baltimore is a run-heavy team.
Yeah.
And so he's going to bring that quarterback mentality to Miami, who likes to run the football a lot, with Hill. And I feel with Huntley coming in, not poised, not knowing the game plan of how they're going to play and the plays, but giving it to Etienne in the back, a little screen will make him feel comfortable. And in those comfortable plays, I feel Etienne will get into the end zone, boost up his quarterback's ego, let him feel comfortable in Miami, and then to start throwing the football to Hill, open up the offense. We might see Miami just open up and revive their season this year post Tua.
I think so.
So we like that. Etienne, trending bet anytime, 2.3, lock it in, have some fun with it.
That's it.
But you have to wait till Monday for that one, though.
That's it. Yeah, it's be a Monday night game, but we'll obviously want to share that that bag with you. So hopefully you guys lock it in. And, just because we know how good we are with the 3-leg parlays, we're going to save that best one for last. So we're actually going to do the Sunday night fantasy first. And so this way, we're going to give you our Week 4 Sunday night fantasy, what we think, similar to a lot of your fantasy lineups. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 defense, and 1 kicker across the entire segment of games on Sunday and Monday. Our goal, of course, in this case, is to get you above that 100-point marker.
Century mark.
That century mark is very important to us. That's our baseline to make sure we did you actually a decent service for your week. So, to get it started, Ulner, tell them who the QB, running back, and wide receiver is.
All right.
Man.
Quarterback, Joe Burrow. Facing Carolina, 0-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Mr. Blonde here over here needs to start throwing the football. He needs to start getting his team involved. They need this win they need this win desperately. They don't get this win, they're out. Wait for next year, go golfing now. Joe Burrow, quarterback, poised for a lot of points. Lock it in right there, speaks for itself. Running backs, we got Breece Hall. Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. Throwing the football and running it. That's his best friend right now. He covers his back. He blocks really well too. But I feel with this in Denver defense that they have in New York, in New Jersey, where they're going to be playing New York style football, Breece Hall is going to have a big game for them. Lock him in there. And then we have James Conner from Arizona.
Big call.
Facing a Washington team. James Conner had a very, very mediocre game last week. He was held in check for only 7 carries. This week he's poised. And to our side, why we chose James Conner is because this game has the highest point total to go over. 44.5.
48.5.
40.5 actually.
48.
So that means there's going to be a lot of points scored. And for James Conner not to have at least a touchdown in there and some rushing yards in place, and he can catch the ball. Lock in James Conner there. Which leads us to our wide receivers. I'll start off with one of them, and then my brother will lead to the second one.
Got you.
We like Shakir. Sunday night. Josh Allen's favorite target. Short and simple. Baltimore will be there. Their defense will be there. They'll cover the long ball. But Shakir is just that little... He's a Cole Beasley. Inside, like an Edelman type too.
Exactly.
Just a short route, catch the ball, 5-yard catch, run for another 10 yards.
Easy.
He's going to rack up points, may even get a touchdown. We feel Shakir's going to have a big game. Through and through. Which leads us to our second wide receiver.
And this is going to be someone that you guys may have heard already, in the weeks prior to, in your fantasy lineups, in the overall season here. This is going to be Mr. Patty Mahomes' number 1 option that we're seeing right now. It is Rashee Rice. He is having one heck of a season right now. Obviously, we know it's going to be a big matchup between the two teams. As you heard of our Game of the Week analysis, we know it's going to be big between the Chargers and Chiefs. Rashee Rice, we imagine, being on the forefront of that, catching a lot of the quick slants, deep throws. Patty Mahomes is still Patty Mahomes, and he's going to make sure that ball gets thrown down and is seen in pay dirt, and that's going to come at the hands of Rashee Rice when we feel he's going to continue that momentum, and he's going to rack up some nice points for it. Which leads us to our tight end. We have from the Cincinnati Bengals, the tight end Mike Gesicki. We have Joe Burrow, a veteran, coming back, helming the Cincinnati Bengals against a very struggling Carolina Panthers, and you have Mike Gesicki, another veteran tight end. I think we think it's going to be I think it's going to be a spotlight on the veterans, to be honest. You're going to have that Burrow-Gesicki connection, and I think that's where you're going to see a lot of, to your point, quick checkdowns, quick slants. I think Carolina Panthers are going to be experimenting a lot of things. I think they may have unofficially called the season.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be experimenting. What works, what doesn't, both offensively, but also defensively. And I think this is where Gesicki and Burrows are going to be able to see that, read the defense, and make those quick catches and, gain those quick yardage.
For sure.
And that's where we're going to see those quick PPR points rack up real quick for Gesicki.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But for every offense, there is also a defense.
Yes.
Which leads us to our defense. We are picking the San Francisco 49ers against the New England Patriots. Obviously, we know that the Patriots are struggling this year, but the defense from San Francisco is top 10 in rushing, and we anticipate that's exactly what's going to be kept in check in the rushing, because you can't just keep handing it off to Ramondre Stevenson.
No.
He's going to get shut down real quick. You shut him down, then you got the Hawks waiting in the secondary.
Yeah.
And 49ers, I know they're having a quote-unquote subpar defensive year, sure, but you know what the reality is? They're still an elite defensive team, no matter how you cut it.
Oh.
And I think they're going to show their prowess against the New England Patriots this week.
Oh, yeah.
And to finally round out the offensive, because sometimes games do come down to this, it's the kicker.
Yeah, the kicker.
So the kicker we have from the last game actually, on Week 4's docket, which is the Seattle Seahawks and Detroit Lions. From the Seahawks, we have Jason Myers. So a couple of reasons there. One, the Seahawks are playing, as opposed to an outdoor arena where they're accustomed to, they're playing in an indoor arena in Detroit, which is nice for them.
Yes.
So, and this game is going to be -3.5 Detroit. That's according to Vegas, which means that it might actually come down to a field goal or two.
Yep.
So we anticipate Jason Myers finally getting the shot to maybe kick some of those deeper kicks without having to worry about any wind or anything along those, the environmental natures,
for
right?
Sure.
So I think it's going to be an interesting game all the way through. I think they're going to be able to pull, kind of push through the offensive, because the reality of it is, you know what? The defensive is relatively solid on both teams.
Oh, they are.
You know what I mean? The total yardage, both Seattle is overall second ranked in total yardage. Detroit, 10th ranked. So it's going to be a tight defense. It's going to go back and forth, and these kickers are going to be important. And we think Jason Myers is going to be the difference maker for this game.
Oh, yeah, he will be for sure. Especially because Detroit goes on 4th down all the time.
Yeah.
They'd rather take the 3 points than have allowed, when Detroit doesn't make the 4th down, get the ball back, score 3, you're up. Now you got to continue making the throw. And Seattle has a really good defense.
That's it.
So, yeah, there we go. So that's our fantasy lineup for the week.
That's it.
We'll recap it again for you guys. We got Joe Burrow, Mr. Blunt as quarterback. We got Breece Hall and James Conner as our running backs.
Yep.
Then we have Shakir and Rashid Rice as our wide receiver. Gesicki as our tight end. The 49ers defense. And Jason Myers as our kicker. Which leads us to our favorite part that we started last week, or Thursday, sorry.
We got a bit of a hot hand.
So we're going to roll with it. We're going to have some fun with it. Our 3-leg parlay.
Oh, man. All right. So we want to continue the good vibes.
Yes.
The win column.
Yep.
Because though we are 1-0, our hope here is to go 2-0.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure we eat, and we hope you guys are tailing with us here. So this week's 3-leg parlay is interesting because we're focusing on 3 quarterbacks.
Yep.
And all 3 of them on the overs. The 1.5 touchdowns.
Yes.
And we are looking at 3 different games altogether. Now, we've already kind of talked about a couple of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it. Let me throw it over to you first. Who's our first leg?
Our first leg, we'll keep it simple. We talk about our fantasy. It's our quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Easy.
Joe Burrow needs a game. We have Gesicki as our tight end there.
Yep.
You have Higgins. You have Chase out there.
Yeah.
You're throwing for 2 touchdowns.
No doubt.
You are not winning this game 7-0, 10-0. No, you're going to come on and you're trying to score as many points as you possibly can.
Yep.
And what is it? They're playing at home too, or on the road? They're playing on the road.
Yep.
That means you want to shut the home team down.
Quickly.
Tell the fans to go home. You're going to come out and prove that you could still play football. Joe Burrow, over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yep.
We love it here. Lock it in.
Leg number 1.
That's leg number 1. What do we have for leg number 2, my brother?
Leg number 2, we've obviously talked about his wide receiver who's slated to have a good week, and that's going to be Patty Mahomes.
Yes.
Over 1.5 touchdowns. We obviously called, we saw it, Rashid Rice to have a great game. We obviously stated that KC is slated at -7 from Vegas. Though we called the Chargers, we think it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be a shootout, and we think Mahomes is going to easily surpass more than 2 throwing touchdowns. He has Rashee Rice. Yeah. He has Travis Kelce.
I think Kelce gets his first touchdown this week.
I think so, because I think everyone's surprised why he hasn't gotten involved in the offense. He's almost non-existent, to be honest. I feel like ever since Miss Taylor Swift came in the limelight, he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, they focus more on her. They put the broadcast on her.
I feel like I've seen more of her in the stands in the booth than I've actually seen Kelce.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think that this week is changing.
Yes.
We think Mahomes is getting those 2. Yeah. One of them is going to be to Rashee Rice. One is going to be Travis Kelce.
Or anybody else.
Really. So long as it's over 2.
Yes.
And that's the second leg.
Yes.
Who is our last leg? Because I'll assure you guys, we haven't talked about it yet.
Yes, we haven't talked about Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Woo. Mr. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yep.
Yes, we have Breece Hall as our fantasy running back there, but Aaron Rodgers likes to throw the football. Even in Green Bay, where he had people he was running, but him throwing the football makes really, really big plays.
Yeah.
And against Denver, they're going to eat Denver. They're going to walk all over them. Aaron Rodgers in New Jersey. I think it's his second game at home. He's going to come off firing. Lazard over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It sounds money to me.
Easy.
It's like just straight money to me.
And I mean, to your point, like Breece Hall, yeah, we know he's a workhorse on the ground, but he's also picked up a receiving touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. So I think it's going to be super, important that obviously is going to be the ball's going to be spread around a little bit more. I think you're going to have Garrett Allen step into the offense. I think you're going to have Breece Hall still step into that kind of ground and pound, but he could also be ready for that check down.
Oh, for sure. He leads the team in receptions at 16 for 120 yards. Yeah. And he's a running back. So Aaron Rodgers is throwing to his favorite target, Lazard.
Absolutely.
He's throwing to Wilson, or he's throwing to Breece Hall. That's 2 touchdowns right there. That locks up our 3-leg parlay for all 3 quarterbacks. Let's let them know what it is again. We got Joe Burrow.
Yep. Over 1.5.
Yep. We got Patty Mahomes.
Over 1.5.
And then we got Mr. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5.
So every single quarterback over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yes.
Now, depending on your sports book, right now on our sports book here, it is collectively nearly 7 times your unit. That is a substantial hit, and we believe we found some sleepers. Like, look at these legs. Like, how is nobody seeing this?
Yeah.
Right? So lock it in, lock it up, because we're going to eat on this one. We hope you guys get to tail and eat with us here as well. And I think this is going to be an interesting Sunday football.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm getting all my popcorn ready.
That's what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn, get your drinks. It's cheat day tomorrow.
Get your money dance.
Get your money dance.
Money dance.
Because you guys be locking in. You guys be eating with us. But to recap for this game of the weeks, for the trending bets, for the parlays, for the fantasy, let's get it. So our first game of the weeks, for our 3 game of the weeks, we have Minnesota and Green Bay. Ulner is calling Green Bay -3.
Yep.
I'm calling Minnesota +3. Second game of the week, Kansas City versus the LA Chargers. We're both calling LA Chargers +7.
Yes.
And then lastly, we have Buffalo versus Baltimore. And we're both calling Baltimore -2.5.
Lamar Jackson, baby. And we got our trending bet with HEN on Monday night from the Miami Dolphins. And then we have our fantasy that we have our quarterback as Burrow, Breece Hall running back, James Conner running back, Shakir and Rashee Rice as our wide receiver, Gesicki at the tight end, 49ers defense, and Myers as our kicker, which leads us to our favorite, the 3-leg parlay.
Which we have Mahomes.
We can't emphasize it more.
We can't. Like this is obviously our big bread and butter here. So we're 1-0, baby. Let's go 2-0. We have Mahomes over 1.5 touchdown. Burrow over 1.5 touchdown. Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown. 3-leg parlay. Lock it up. You're gonna be eating with your favorite drinks, with your favorite snacks, and on top of that, with your favorite money bag at the end of it.
Yes, with AIM betting right here with us.
AIM betting, rocking with you all Sunday night football, all Monday football. Tag us, tweet us, hashtag us. We're with you. We're watching all Sunday. Stay tuned for our next episode, and we'll let you know how it all goes. We'll break it all down. But until then, have a great Sunday football. Bet what you can afford. And from AIM Sports,
we out.
Peace.